Now that we know how to make walls and the importance of making sure our bottom and top constraints are accurate, let's go into actually dimensioning some our exterior walls and then add some interior walls. So to do that, I'm going to go back into my first floor plan and I want to dimension my walls, okay, because earlier I just kind of drew a box and I want my building to be about 24 by, actually not about, I want it to be 24 by 24. Okay, now to dimension my walls, I'm going to click on my top wall here, and you'll see that right now I have a dimension of 25 feet. And that's saying that my highlighted wall is 25 feet away from this bottom wall. You'll also notice that my extension lines here are coming off the center line of both walls. Now, in some cases, that's okay. In other cases, we want a dimension from the interior of our wall. In other cases, we want to dimension to the exterior of our wall. For this particular example, I want a dimension to the exterior of my wall. And there's a couple different ways that I can change where my dimension is coming from. Personally, I like to use these little dot grips right here. Okay, so if I simply click on this witness line, it's going to change where this line dimensions to my wall. And also keep note and watch my 25-foot dimension here. That's also going to change. So if I click on this little grip right here, it's now taking it from the interior wall finish, and it changes to just shy of 25 feet. If I click it again, it's going to bring it to my exterior wall. If I say, I really want it going from the center line of my wall, I can just keep on clicking through this to toggle it through. Okay, but I want them going from the center, from the exterior of my wall. So once I have my witness lines going to the exterior of the wall, I'm simply going to click on my dimension. I'm going to put 24 feet and hit enter. So now I have 24 feet from exterior to exterior. Now I want to change the width of my walls. All right, so I just hit escape to get out of my command. I'm going to click on the right hand side wall. Zoom out a little bit so I can see my dimensions. And again, I'm going from the center line of my wall. I don't want that. I want to go from the exterior of my wall. So I'm going to change my witness lines and change this to 24 feet. And now we have a 24 by 24 foot exterior dimension home. Okay, so let's add some interior walls. Again, it's going to be a very, very, very simple building. So to create a wall, again, I'm going to hit WA on my keyboard or go to my wall command. And it remembers that I had an exterior wall before. Now I don't want an exterior wall. I want an interior wall. So I'm going to come down to interior 4.5 inch partition. And before I start drawing, as we learned in the last video, I want to make sure that my constraints are correct. So right now I have a base constraint on my first floor, which is perfect, but my top constraint is unconnected. I don't want to make that mistake again. Now I can change it down to my project properties, or my wall properties, but I like to go up here in my modify wall box and go from unconnected and change it to second floor. Okay, now I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to start drawing some interior walls, and I just moused on an exterior wall and you'll see that I have some dimensions here, and this helps me get close to where I think I need to be. Alright, so I'm just going to start drawing a bedroom to start off with. So let's go, I don't know, somewhere around 10 feet. And again, I'm paying attention to my inferencing line, my blue inferencing line there, to make sure that I'm horizontal. And I'm going to connect my wall there. I'm going to make a second bedroom a little bit smaller. We'll say the one on the left is the master and the one on the right is a smaller bedroom. And we'll connect to there. And let's say that we have a bathroom coming off. Something like this. All right. And we'll say that like this open area here is going to be our living room and our kitchen. Okay, so we have two different wall types, and we know that because we selected the different wall types, but we could also see that our exterior walls are thicker than our interior walls. All right, and again, if I go into the 3D view, you'll see that we absolutely have different wall types. Now, in most residential cases, the interior wall type and wall finish is going to be exactly the same, meaning that on this side of the wall and this side of the wall are both going to be, gypsum or sheetrock or paneling, whatever it may be. So drawing in a clockwise direction when you're doing interior walls is not as critical as exterior rooms. Okay. All right, so I'm going to zoom back out and let's add some other elements in here like windows and doors. Okay, so to put windows and doors in, it's just as easy as drawing walls. So again, under the Architectures tab, in the Architecture ribbon, under the Build palette, we have doors. Okay, so I'm going to click on Door. And yes, I do want to save my project. I have my reminders on, right? So always save. Having reminders is always a nice thing. So in my doors property, so I was in the architecture doors, and it popped up my doors properties. Okay, I'm going to click on my drop down and select the different types of doors that I have here. Now at this time, I want to pause and just mention families. Okay, so you'll see that I have this double glass one door category, and I have all these different door sizes underneath it. Okay, so it's the same type of door, double glass door, but there's different sizes of them. Each one of these is called a family, right? So I have a family of doors, and therefore I have a family of double glass doors. It's kind of like having a collection of different assets that we can bring into our Revit model. All right, so anytime you want to bring things like doors, windows, furniture, plumbing fixtures, surround sound systems, whatever it may be, we're going to import that as a family. All right, and we'll touch more on families later on. So for right now, let's start with an exterior door. All right, and let's see what families we have loaded in here now. So I like this one, the single raised panel with side lights. And if I mouse over, it gives me a little idea of what that's going to be. Basically just a solid door with two nice side lights. That would be great for an exterior door. So I want a nice, good sized door. So I'm going to go 36 by 80. I'm just going to click on it. And then I'm going to bring my mouse and I'm going to go to my bottom wall here. And you'll see that once I'm just going to pan up, you'll see that once I put just mouse over, I have all these different options of where I want to put my door. Okay. Now I want to get this kind of in the center. And the nice thing is I have these nice dimension lines that help me, or dimensions that help me get approximately center. And I'm just going to click and it places my door inside there. Okay, so for right now, I'm not going to worry about which way the door swings. I'll show you that in just a moment. So let's go ahead and put doors into our bedrooms, all right, into our 2 bedrooms and our bathroom. So I don't want this side light window, especially in the bathroom. I want some privacy doors. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the type of door that I want. And I just want a solid single flush door. Let's do a 30 by 80. And we'll put one here in that bedroom. We'll put one here in this bedroom. And we'll put one right here in the bathroom. Okay. Now let's say that I don't want my doors to swing this way. I want like the door to open towards this wall. Now the way to change that is if I click on my door, you'll see that I have these different arrows. And if I click on those arrows, it just toggles the way that my door swings, either left-handed or right-handed. Or I could do an in swing or an out swing. Right, so what I like to do is just get my doors in there, and then afterwards I go back and I change the way that my doors are swinging. And it's usually a good habit to make sure that your doors swing towards another interior wall. That way you're using best use of space. Now, let's say that, I just kind of drop these in here. But let's say that I wanted my door shifted left or right. I can select on my door, left click and hold, and drag it over. Or I can use the arrow keys on my keyboard to put it where I want it. Or I could change a dimension and get it more precise. All right, so multiple ways that you can do that. So great, my doors are in. So let's pop some windows in here. And the windows go in the exact same ways that doors do. So again, I'm going to go up to my Architecture tab, which opens up my Architecture window, and into the Building palette, and click on Windows. And now I'm going to click down to see what kind of window families I have. And I'm going to keep it pretty simple here. I'm just going to use some double hung windows, which is like your typical residential window. And we're going to go 30 by 46 windows. And I'm going to put one here in the living room. We'll do a couple in the living room. We'll do another here in the bedroom. A couple there. And again, right now, I'm not being too fussy of where I put them. I could always change them later. Put a couple in the kitchen. Okay, so now we have windows. So let's take a look at our 3D view and see what we have so far. Let's zoom out, rotate around a little bit. All right, so I like my windows, I like my door, but I'm seeing something a little goofy here. right? So look at these windows right here. This window looks different than this window, right? Well, let's see why that is. So this is definitely the interior of the window, but this looks like the exterior of the window that's on the inside of the house. So I need to flip that. So the same way that I flipped doors, I can also flip windows. Now, if we take a look at the window in our bedroom up here, in comparison to the window in our living room, you'll see that the symbology is a little different. So the pane of glass is actually on the outside on this one and on the inside here. All right. And the reason why that is because within these families, we can put different window trims in different colors. So the same way that we change the swing of our doors, we could also change the orientation of our windows just by clicking on that toggle. And we're good to go. Let's just make sure all of our other windows are okay, which they are. I'm going to click on my 3D view again, and there we go. Now all of our windows are correct and our doors look